Hello and welcome to the channel once again, and I was just thinking to build something quick, so I thought the FT Nutball is the best option to build something quick. So these are the plans for the FT Nutball. This is just the main body and this is the rudder, and the FT Nutball just simply consists of the rudder and the main body. You'll also need the Flitestest power pod for this. And the power pod, I just cutted this out and taped the side so that it have a little bit more strength. I've just cut it out the firewall from ply, and I'm just thinking to find a laser to cut a couple of these so that I have this, and also the control horns. So I'm just going to make the power pod first, and then we'll go to towards the main body. One thing more to mention, that in my build I'm just going to change the setup of the FT Nutball. In the actual Flitestest, FT Nutball consists of the rudder and just the elevator, but I just want to convert these into elvevons and also the rudder. So I'm going to use two servos, and I'm going to mount two servos right here, one here and one here for the elevevons, sorry, and the rudder servo will be just mounted somewhere about this hole, which is the actual design. So this is my modification in it, and you can go according to your will. So for the power pod, I've just carried this piece out according to the plans and just So here is the final finish of the Flitestest power pod, and now let's make our model. Okay, now so for the main body, I'm going to just cut out these openings for the power pod and the servos. So here I have my main body of the nutball. I just cut this piece separately, and it doesn't matter, like I just applied tape on this, and we are going to give a little bit of dihedral, so it doesn't matter, and the other side will be also cutted, so it's not a big deal. Now I'm just going to cut these openings for the power pod and the servos. Okay, so now I've just cutted these holes for the power pod, and I've checked the power pod just fits good. Here you can see I've just cut it out one hole, and in the plans you can see there's a place for two holes for two servos. So this is because I just want the control surfaces to be elvevons instead of a single elevator. And for the elevator, I'm just going to cut out two holes just right next to this hole, one on the right and one on the left, and the control push rods will be just straight, just similar to the push rod of the rudder, just like this. The push rod will just go straight, and for the elvevons, the push rods will be just straight, similar to this. Now I don't know will it work or not, but I'm just going to try the elevevons or the elevevons setup with the nutball. So let's see how it works. So first of all, I'm just going to cut out this this control surface, and then I'm just going to cut it into half. So I've just cut out the elevator, and now I'm just going to cut this into half. Now I'm just going to make a 45-degree bevel here. Okay, so now everything is done. We need just to make a dihedral in this, and for the dihedral, as in my case, I've just cut it out this separately, so I'm just going to put a 2 inches tape upon it to make it a little bit like reinforced. So there we go. I've applied tape this to this side, and now we're just going to add a dihedral. So for the dihedral, you just have to make this upside down and put the power pod, and then just put it upon it, just like this. Okay, and now just make it, give it a dihedral and apply some hot glue. Okay, take your hot glue gun and apply some glue there. Make sure this side is touching your workbench, so just make it like a little bit open while applying the glue. Like this, open and close, and then just put it on your table and then just let it rest. Take a piece of foam and just clean the excess, and similarly the other side. And just wait a while for this one to dry. Apply some hot glue. Okay, so it's dry now, and just turn it over and pull this out, and now you've got a nice dihedral in it. Okay, oops, we just got a glue at this end, just remove it. Okay, so here we have a little bit of glue, so just pull this out so that we don't have a problem while the control surface is moving. Now it's time, I think so, to put the rudder on it. For the rudder, I just also taped it, and right now I'm just going to put 2 inches tape, or again putting tape on it. There we go, just like this. Getting a 45 degrees bevel edge. There we go. And now applying some hot glue on this side. I think so, it's okay right now, so I'm just going to glue this right here. So just put a little bit of hot glue in there. And now take your square to make it like 90 degrees. It is, I guess, it's okay. And lastly, just getting out the holes for the elvevons, so just putting right here. Okay, so I've just cut out the holes for the servos of the elvevons. It will just fit right like this. Okay, and then the servo rods will come on this side, just like this. Now there's a spare servo. I'm just going to put new ones in there, and now it's time to paint, I think so. Okay, so the paint job is done, and now it's time to install the servos and the other electronics. So for the servos, I'm using 9-gram servos, just like this, and I've got the elvevons set up. So I'm going to use 3 9-gram servos, 1 for the rudder and 2 for the elvevons. The rudder one will go here, and the elvevons one will go in these 2 places. So first I'm going to center the servos, and then we'll just install the servos right here. Okay, so I've centered the servos, 2 in this orientation and 1 in this, according to my where I will just put my control horns. And now I'm just going to install the servo linkages to these servo horns. So I've centered the servos and installed the servo linkages. So installing control rods. So I've installed the push rods, and I've just set everything, adjusted the throws, and I also just put on my decal of Mr. Drone, and that is all. Like, it's pretty much done. Now I just turn to install the electronics and the power pod. So in the power pod, I'm using an 1100 mAh battery, which is like too much for the nutball. Like 500 is recommended, and like 850 will be too much, but I've just access to this right now. I'm using Fly Sky, so this is the receiver, and I'm just going to set up the electronics, and then it's time to fly. There we go. Place our receiver back there, and just take your connectors outside. There we go. And now just rest in all the electronics in there. Take there we go. Just put each and everything there inside. Put your barbecue skewer into the power pod, and make sure that it goes inside the, I hope you can see this, like it just goes inside this what do we call the zip tie. So it's almost ready, and just put all your wires inside this power pod so it's neat and clean. And I'm just taking out one antenna so that we can just make like 90 degrees of angle kind of thing. Okay, there we go. Each and everything inside. Tighten this power pod onto it. There we go. Everything is all right, and now it's time to go. Yes, tighten this, and now cut this one right here. Now it's almost ready. The CG is balanced, like it is a little bit like nose down, and this is a perfect balance for the CG. Okay, so everything is done. Like, this is the pitch up, pitch down, roll right, roll left, right and left, and this is the throttle. Okay, so the settings is completely done, and now I'm just going to install the prop. So I'm using an 8x6 prop. Let me just take the prop. Here is 8x6 prop. So let me just install the prop, and then we'll go fly. Okay, so make sure the direction is correct and let's go outside and fly it. Okay, so here we are with the 16:4 prop, and let's see how this works. Second try with CG a little bit nose down and 16:4 prop. So let's try this. Oh, ako ba natin? Ako ba natin?